G'day guys, Matty Xtreme Auto Caravan and Camping with you again today on an awesome JB off-roader. This one a big off-grid setup for these guys to get them running their air conditioner, microwave and all of their mains powered devices completely off the grid on the side of the road, wherever they want, whenever they want, all at the touch of a nice touch button. So as you can see, all the Victron fruit down here. As with all of my jobs guys, this one completely different once again. So I'll lay it out for you, all the specs here. So we got the 560 amp hours of power pool custom made lithium batteries here with a 250 amp discharge per battery. Got the Multiplus 3000 120 amp inverter charger running on all the factory outlets. We've also gone for the Victron 150 on this, just a single large solar controller guys, because we've only put 800 on the roof. I say only, it's still a lot, but we've put that in 2 strings. We've also gone for the 7515 little Mppt charge controller, because old mate's got a portable solar panel that he wants to monitor separately up on the servo screen. We've gone for the Orion 30 amp DC to DC charger on this as well, so that's for vehicle charging on top of that, and that will work in conjunction with the roof. So yeah, if he's pumping that 700-800 watts coming in, the other 360 or 30 amps will come in from the vehicle on top of that. It won't shut one down. So the potential charge rate of this is sitting on well above 1100 odd watts. Very, very happy with the ability to put that power in while he's driving. And that's more than enough to keep up with the Harrier that's on this, the air conditioner. So if it is stinking hot, these guys can run their air conditioner while they are driving, and they will arrive with, good battery capacity still. So being a overlay setup, as with all my jobs guys, this one on a JB, a little bit different. And that's because the factory panel was kind of here, and it had like all the fuses on it, had a breaker on it, had a master relay. And we've rewired it, as you can see, to a much neater approach. Nothing was labeled. There wasn't a label on anything actually. So now we've worked out what things are and we've labelled them. Old mate's got a diesel heater in this. That's all down there and labelled. So everything's really easy to see. There's 2 12-volt circuits on this. One is master controlled by the door with your little master switch by your step. That controls a fuse block. The other fuse block is constant power, like for your fridge, your diesel heater, memory for the radio, stuff that needs to be on all the time without you switching that master switch off. So that's the 2 master 12-volt circuits that we've rewired on this. Now these batteries were behind the wheel here, behind the wheel arch, so chassis mounted 2 batteries. Those chassis mount boxes are welded on, so he could get them removed at a period of time, but for now the relocation wasn't too far, so essentially they were kind of just underneath here, and now they're inside here in this back area. Now this wasn't a through boot, alright, so it was only a boot to kind of this section, and because of the awning, the arm went through where the flap would go for the through boot. So there is no through boot. So that means he said I could pretty much do what I want with this area. I didn't. I've left a gap at the rear. Hard to see. I'll try and put it on a video. But old mate runs a directional antenna for his modem. I run one as well. Now he wanted to be able to still slide that in, so we've left enough gap for him to slide a couple of things really long behind our master panel here. So there we have it guys. We've got all of the Victron stuff. We've got the 30 amp DC to DC charger. Got the Victron 150 for the 800 odd watts of solar on the roof. You got the little 7515 for a portable fold out panel for old mate. You got the Victron 3000 120 Multiplus inverter charger running on all of the factory outlets. So the second he pulls that mains plug, power's on at the touch of a switch. Got the very sought after, and I love these batteries, the PowerPool 280 amp hour Scouts, so 2 of them. That's a combined total of 560 amp hours, or 6.5 kilowatt hours there. So very happy with this setup, the way it's come. I'm like super stoked. Everything's so neat here. You can see it all. I'll do some zoom ins for you guys, try and get a couple of snappies on it, and we'll run down with some loads because I can. The sun's actually come up. It's only like 10 in the morning, but I'm getting like 400 watts, so 460 to be exact now. The way I've done the strings, so 2 44 volt strings on this. 2 of the panels are in their original position over here, but I've managed to squeeze them back slightly. So they were along the passenger side, and the other 2 that we've had to add, one's on a dog leg on the rear of the van through here, and the other one's in front of the air conditioner, as far as away as we could practically get. Think at about 150 gap, and the sun is that way. All right, we're still in the bottom of winter, guys. We're on, middle of August, and with the sun that low, it was casting a shadow on that front panel. So these two panels were happy days in full sun. This one was getting dappled light from the roof, and then now it's like 10, just past 10, and we're getting 465. So I saw it jump instantly from about 300 watts, and it just jumped up to that other panel. So that's what happens with shading, and that's why when we wire up systems on the roof, it isn't just slap them on the roof and join negative to positive. No, we design it based on shade, and we lay the panels out on the roof based on shade. Now this roof is, because it's the center ensuite, I'm actually able to get a hell of a lot more solar up than I've put on this roof. I made it started out with the 800. We actually sized it up. I can get another 5 160s in front of the 200. So I can actually fit 2 more in front, and then a third one next to the air conditioner on this side, and then 2 more on the slope. And old mate might do that. He might not put the 5 up there. He might just want to put another 3 on. And I know what you guys are thinking. Wait, yes, you've got to be within your limits. These systems I fit, they always vary. Generally speaking, though, most of the fit outs I do are usually to upgrade a system that's had a couple of AGMs. Whenever I remove 2 AGM 120 amp hour batteries, I'm instantly pulling out 70 kilos. All right, I'm going to bring a scale on my next job to show you guys. So I know I'm pulling out 70 and maybe another 10 from charges and stuff. Call it 80. 80 comes out. Now what goes back in is about 150, right? Roughly. So that's the 2 batteries, the big inverter, about 800 to 1,000 of solar. So you work it out. It usually always falls between, my systems always fall between 50 and 80 kilos on top of what you originally had. So you're going to work out your weights, of course, and of course, budget as well. You can't blow a budget when I come out and say, right, let's just litter your roof in solar. No, at the end of the day, it comes down to your choice. And old mate made that decision. We bought all of the other panels on site, the different size panels. It's a game of Tetris, as you guys know. His original quote was for 4 200-watt panels, and he was happy to stick with that for now. But, I've left the provision there for that potential for the extra panels to go on should he decide to do it at a later date. And you can do that. Same with the Cerbo, guys. You've seen the capabilities of the system and what you can do with it. This has those little arm tank sensors. You put the arm in the side of the tank and it just measures kind of in between the stainless screws. It's very inaccurate. It's a guide, really. And we like fitting those differential pressure sensors, which is what Cymarine use and a lot of the big companies use, because they give a difference in pressure. So external pressure versus water tank pressure, and it puts out voltage. So the tank sender is very accurate, and you can program it up on the Cerbo. Not to mention it's all on the one screen. So, old mate wants to probably do that down the track, and you can put it on anything. If you've got a diesel heater, if you've got a gas tank, your LPG bottles, they're an ultrasonic sensor that go straight under the tank. Another video, guys, that I have coming out soon. We've done it's a Jayco, big motorhome thing, and we've put a couple of those ultrasonic sensors on the tank. So I'll show you how I got that, guys, that setup. It's pretty cool, very accurate. You put a bit of KY jelly on it, rare earth magnet straight under the tank, and it all comes up on your Cerbo screen. You can set alarms. It's very, very cool to have everything on the one screen. There it is. So yeah, like I said, guys, I've got the microwave here, got the air conditioner. Oh, that's right. So this one here has the Swift hot water service. All right, the stainless tank, 28 litre job. For you guys that don't know much about hot water services in caravans, you've generally got a few different types. You get your instantaneous, right? This is no tank, it's just water in, water out. You've got your boiler type, your Swift, your Suburbans, and your Trumas. And with those types, you also got your gas, your diesel heating types as well, but I'm not going to get into that one. With your most common ones out there, which are those two, when you've got the boiler on board, if it's a Suburban or a Truma, I've got a blanket rule that it must go before the inverter. It's a no-brainer for me, all right? The element that comes with it is very high wattage, 1400 and then 2000 for the your Suburban. These things, although the inverter can run it, if you accidentally, if you're at a caravan park, right, as an example, and you obviously get your hot water service on mains power, you plugged into mains power, you plugged into the shore there, you're on mains, happy days. It's 2 in the morning and the power goes out. If you've got an auto transfer switch on like an Enerdrive inverter or even the Victron, right, and that hot water service is left after the inverter, here's the problem. It'll automatically flick over to batteries because the power's gone out without you even knowing. And you will wake up with a flat battery. Even if you had, 8 kilowatt hours of battery, right? Yes, it's going to cycle on and off. In 8 to 10 hours, you're dead flat. And you're going to hear your inverter ramp up. You're going to be like, where's this power going? That's right, hot water service is on. So my blanket rule is for the Truma boiler and the Suburban hot water service, they must be before the inverter. There's no ifs or buts about it. This one has the Swift hot water service. And like I said, for you guys that don't know much about them, they're a 28 litre tank, no anode. Well, there is something inside, but it's a non-serviceable thing. My point is, it's a 1,000 watt element, all right? It's only 1,000 watts, guys. So it takes a long time to get hot from mains power because of that 1,000 watts. But what that means is when you've got a lot of solar and you've got a lot of battery storage, we give the customers the option to have the Swift hot water service after the inverter. And the reason is it is only 1,000 watts. And the other thing is there's a separate switch upstairs, like in the top cupboard. And I'll show you guys that. So old mate is able to superheat his water by going gas on, mains on, even when he's free camping. If your batteries are full, right, and it is in the middle of the day, 11 o'clock, I always get the phone call, Matt, how can I use my solar better? What can I use? Where can I dump this load? Well, turn your hot water service on. And they like, with the Suburbans or whatever, they're like, well, it's before the inverter, I can't. Well, unplug it from that GPO and plug it into another GPO. All right, it'll run. My point is when you've got a Swift on the system, I'm able to run that switch so you can turn it on at your call. Yes, you're going to see it as an AC load, and I'll show you guys that. When you turn it on and the gas on at the same time, you've now got 2 heating sources heating that 28 litres of water. In 15 minutes, you guys will have hot water. So something I do, because I've got the Swift, before I drive, I turn the hot water service on. Make sure the hot water service is full, of course, guys. Purge your water through it. Don't run it dry. You should know that. And I arrive with a boiling hot water tank. Very happy to do it. Yes, you could get it hot before you drive. Use your solar from your house. Whatever means necessary. I'm just making a point that if you've got full batteries and you've got full sun, your charge controllers are shut down. They'll go to float, all right, storage mode. And when you put a big load on the batteries, it wakes them back up because it senses that load and says, oh, let's start charging or compensating. Well, that would be you forcing the energy somewhere, running the air conditioner, running a hot water service, whatever. The point is, if you've got the energy, use it. You may as well. So a little bit of a hot tip for you guys. Try that one out. I'm not going to bore you with any more of that stuff, guys. I'm going to zoom this camera over to the screen, microwave, air conditioner. Got a bit of a treat for you. I brought my Honda One Jenny. I get a lot of emails on this. Matt, I've got a Honda 3 generator. I'm sick of lugging this big thing around. It weighs a ton. It's huge. I'm getting a box made so I can mount it. I don't want to do that. What are my options? Well, buy a Honda One. Look up the specs on a Honda One. It's about 850 watts continuous. All right, just remember that. 850 watts. So 850 watts, 3 and a bit amps. All right, do the math. If you've got 850 watts coming into your Caravan and you pull a load of 800 watts, it's going to run. The generator is going to really load up, but it's not going to trip out. Now, when you exceed this 800 watts, what happens? We all know the generator goes click, shuts down, your power's off. Not with the Victron system. I'll explain why. You set your current limit on the Serbo touchscreen. As an example, I'll set it for 3.5 in a minute. I'll show you guys. We'll set it for 3.5. So that means it will only use 3.5 amps or 800 odd watts from my generator. Nothing more. I've set the limit. That's the hard limit right there. It will not exceed it. Where does the rest of the power come from, Matt? If I turn my microwave on or the air conditioner. That's the kicker. The rest of it will come from batteries. Essentially, it's a big storage device. It'll use the inverter's power on top of the generator. So if you've got 800 coming in, and then you've got, an 800 load being drawn, and all of a sudden you go over that to say, 2,000, well, that extra 1,200 will come from the inverter and the batteries. It's very clever. It's called an assisting mode. It's very clever, very smart. It'll use what it can that you set it to, 3.5 amps, and the rest of it will come from batteries. It's nuts. Same thing if you're on a 10 amp power supply, like using your little amphibian converter. 10 amps is your limit. Set your limit. The most it'll pull is 10 amps. Anything more comes from the batteries. So if you've got 2,400 coming in, and then you're running something at 2,400, happy days. But if you go over the 2,400, the rest will come from batteries. Very smart, guys, and you can only do that with the Victron system. Very clever, and I'm going to show you guys that. So no more carrying massive generators as a backup. If you wanted to carry a generator and you had a system like this, you carry a Honda One, and I'll show you guys what to do, just like I do, as a backup, because you can. I mean, why not? Less fuel, less weight. The generator's tiny, and I can guarantee you would jump on Facebook Marketplace or Gumtree or wherever, and you will see them for dirt cheap, 500, 600 bucks each. There we go. Enjoy, guys. All right, so pretty standard rundown like I'll do for you guys. So we're on at the moment. All right, now take note of my AC current limit. I'll just leave it at that for now, 3.1 amps, because I'm going to do some testing for you. But we'll get the air conditioner going like we always do. There we go. Now it is cold, so we'll go 24, and now this is the original Harrier, as you can tell by the internal vent design. We'll let it ramp up. Fan 3, right, that'll turn off. We'll go to the main screen. Good, we'll let it ramp up. I'll do it so you guys can hear it. And then, my special treat for you guys, I'll turn the hot water service on. So because he's got that swift hot water service, it looks good, doesn't it, guys? I'm really proud. I'm really happy with how this one's come up. I really got stuck into this. We were on a bit of a time frame. We had a couple of rainy days, so anyway, there was hard to see, but you can see the screw hole still. There was a large panel through here, and that fuse box back there was attached to it with, it's hard to see it right at the back. There we go. The electro, which is controlled by that master switch down there. So you turn that off. That controls 12 volt only, so lights will turn off. Yeah, happy days. But the fridge stays on. That's what you want, because it is a compressor fridge. There we go. So back to 12 volt back on. And yeah, it just had a bunch of other ugly crap on it and horrible wiring. But, me and Riley get stuck into it, and this is the outcome. Just a nice, neat setup. That's the side hatch too, guys. Just so you know. So this is the reason why I've done this like this. That's the side hatch. So these are all accessible, not only from when you lift up the seat, but old mate doesn't have to. He can just drop that hatch and access all these fuses quite easily. And that's why I've done it really close to, be able to get to it if you ever need to. There are MIDI fuses, guys, and A&L. This is high current stuff here, done properly. All right, so we got the AC ramped up now on heat. Once again, they can't run on an AC. It's not hot enough in Adelaide yet. Bring on the heat. 780, that'll really rise once that ramps up. That's only a medium speed at the moment. We're getting 481 from solar, and we're only pulling 20 odd amps. I believe we've got the fold out in as well. It's only a little 100 watt fold out. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, it's a little portable panel. It's an old girl, but she's doing the job. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's there we go. Getting 70 odd watts out on the floor and 420 from my roof array. Like I said, that front panel's still probably in a little bit of shade, and we are in winter, so once that sun starts to come up a little bit more, it's punching nearly 11 o'clock now. So back to the main screen by hitting the pages button. If you ever get stuck on these guys, like I said, if you're poking around and you get a bit lost and you're in the settings and go, oh, where am I supposed to be? Always just hit pages. It'll take you straight back home, and there are 3 screens within pages. 1, 2, and 3. All right. That's the screen I like people to keep it on. It's easy to see. There is a timer on the screen. It will shut down. That's the screen, easy, and that's the control screen. Current limit, AC mode. All right. Hot water system. That's a swift hot water service. You can tell there's the gas switch. So if I turn this one on, right, I'll flick it on there, quickly flick it over to the... All right, she's on. Now watch that. It'll jump up another 1,000 watts. See that? Okay. So that's the hot water service running at the same time as the air conditioner. We're off grid, guys. There's no grid here. No grid, no shore power, nothing. All from batteries. You can see the picture. It's very easy to read. We're pulling 136 amps or 1700 watts. Battery voltage is there. See where the power's going? Hot water service is running. Air conditioner's going. Let's go microwave. Why not? Watch the numbers, guys. This is only possible with Paul's batteries, with that big discharge, and the Victron system. How good is that? I'll flip the camera around. I'm running a Swift hot water service with a 1000 watt element. I'm running the Harrier on heat, and I got that microwave going. It's off now. That was pulling a lot of power, but it can do that, and it can do this all the time. From full battery to flat battery. You just got to manage it on this screen. You know, none of these battery systems and solar systems you guys see me do, it's not infinite. You've still got a battery bank and a solar array. You know, you can only capture as much power that's available. You just got to do the best you can with what you got. And that's what we're doing. All right, let's, I'll show you the generator now. I'll set that generator up, all right? And check this out. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the hot water service on, all right, because I know that's another 1000 watt load. That's pretty continuous. That's running flat out. You can hear it. Oh, I'm going to turn it up. Go 27. 27? Yep, 27 heat. All right, happy days. So pulling what? 2000 watts. We're pulling that. Now, take note on, right? So it's the auto transfer switch mode, and 3.1 amp current limit. Right? Very easy to work out. I'm going to go walk outside. I'm definitely not going to edit this, guys. I'm going to follow this. So it might get a bit weird with me starting this Jenny up. Hopefully I can start it up first shot. I had it running before, so it's warmed up, ready to go. I'll put me a little tripod on. We'll keep it going. Now I'm going to fire up this Jenny, then we're going to quickly run in here and watch what it's doing. So I'm going to flick the screen out of this one, because this is what I want you to see. It's going to show you 800 odd watts, 700 odd watts on here, and then this will remain, obviously, whatever it is. So it's going to use whatever it can from here. All right, let's do it. Let's go. On to one. All right, let's go. Now watch that little flashing light. Wait for it. There's the click. Now, remember what I said, guys? Watch. The generator hasn't bogged down. What's going on? How good's that? This is what I mean. I'm running that generator. But look, see the difference here? All right, look, it's easy. And that's why I love the Victron. You can see at any given time what's going on. So I'll explain it. That current limit I've set at 3.1 amps means it's only going to pull 3.1 amps, also known as 637 watts. Now, if I was to increase that number, it'll start pulling more power, but nothing above that. And that's our load. We're running the hot water and the air conditioner, guys. Now, I'll put the microwave on. Geez, that's going to be really hot water. Microwave's on. Now look at watch the numbers. The numbers here will increase, but this won't change. Might change slightly, but no, it hasn't. It's actually gone less. So look at that. I'm pulling 3,200 watts now, guys. 3,200. I'm offsetting it. You see, it's using 580 odd watts, 600 odd watts from the generator, and the rest of it's coming from the batteries. It can only do that with the Victron. Watch what happens when the load disappears. It's beautiful, isn't it? Very smart, very clever. Now, I'm going to increase the current limit. I think 4. Don't quote me. Let's try 4. So the AC current limit should open this door so you can hear this. Hang on a second, guys. I'll open this window so you can hear the generator. We'll see if we can get it. It hasn't been open in a while. Right, you hear the Jenny? Right, good. We'll crank this up. 3.5, accept. You hear it? You hear it load up a bit more? Now let's go to 4, let's see what it does. Whoop. You hear it? Hear it load up? So now we're pulling 4 amps. So it's using 800 from my generator. So if you don't want to run your generator flat out and really load it up, you can just drop it back on this. Obviously, if you've got like a Honda 2 or something, you've got a bit more room to go up, so you can put that current limit a bit higher. But this is, I wanted to show you this on purpose. That's my Jenny. I bought it on site for this test, for this reason. Now we drop it back. Go to 3.1. Look at that. My AC loads are still up, guys. Very clever system. I'll chop this as a separate video for you guys as well, so you can access and show your mates or whoever, because I have so many emails on this one. But there it is, guys. That's that working. So once again, air conditioner going. Oh, we got the air conditioner cranking on heat. It's pulling a mile. Got the hot water service. It's a 1,000 watt Swift element in the 28 litre tank here, and we had the microwave going as well. You know, let's put it back on again. It's going to be very well boiled, that bloody cup. Right. It's right there, guys, to see. Very easy. AC loads, it's all there. Enjoy. Also going for the Ruuvi temp sensors once again, guys. So one of the old mate's freezer. So for freezer temperature, little Bluetooth sensors. And then the other one, these talk perfectly to the Cerbo touchscreen. You can put as many as you want on there. And you just simply go to menu. And we've got a few. I've actually added a couple more. I've got one in the battery area in this one. So we've got battery area temperature, freezer temperature, fridge temp, and hot water service temperature. That's something a little bit different that I haven't done on a video before, guys. So I just had a spare temperature sensor sitting around, so I was running it in the area, and you know, hot water service, just kind of tucked it up in there. It might be accurate. I'm not sure. It's not in the water itself. It's just it's on the tank, so it'll be pretty accurate. But because I've got all this on the remote portal, I will be able to see, and old mate will be able to see the temperatures pretty much wherever he goes, anywhere in the world. And that's the other thing too with the VRM portal. He's able to data log everything, like all the solar production on this, from the portable, from the roof. There's power usage at DC, there's power usage at mains power, battery state of charge, battery current, battery amps. Pretty much any parameter you can think of is going to be data logged on the VRM portal. Very, very cool. And you know, we're sticking memory cards in these now. Just a little cheeky SD card, just a data log for when there's no Wi-Fi, and then it'll sort of upload from there. And old mate's running a Telstra Nighthawk modem. So these guys I've already set it up, so every time he takes that away and when he comes back, it'll automatically connect, and I'll be able to see it on the VRM portal for diagnostics, or updating firmware or software, whatever's needed. So there we have it. I'll turn this around. I know I'm going to get asked, venting. Well, there it is. It's hard to see the one behind the solar controls. Let's see if I can get back here with the camera. See the gap? There are each on the rear of those controllers, right? It's all vented, right? Hard to see. I should put a light behind it. There we go. You see that light? So even behind them, they're all vented as well. And this is quite open anyway. It's actually very open. And there's the top of the multi. And we've got 2 other vents there and a big one over here. And all of that at the rear with the light that you can see behind it. Enjoy, guys.